Oh,
Hey, welcome back. Back to our normal setup.
yes, that was a bit weird last time. I hope people still liked it.
It was a little bit intimate. I, I, I felt
We did that. We
uncomfortable.
had that for 2 episodes last time.
It was 2 episodes, yeah, and I'm happy to be back in our usual home.
And we celebrated, I remember now, we celebrated our 10th episode.
We did in style. So this is episode 11.
Yeah.
Okay, what did we promise we were going to talk about?
We did tell the world we were going to talk about bourbon this time.
Bourbon, the perhaps most American of drink.
We're expanding. We're leaving an entire continent and we're going towards America.
Yeah, we kind of skipped countries and we just decided to move continent.
Yeah.
I've got a trivia question. Do you know how bourbon started? Like, what was the trigger?
First.
In the 18th century, so like 17 something.
Before or after the American Revolution? Because
come on, you didn't say this was going to be history. I don't even know Welsh history, let alone American history. But there was frontier farmers, people who've gone out and put their stake in the ground.
Yeah, like the movie with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So frontier farmers, they were like, what do we do with all this corn? And literally that was the trigger for the production.
Okay, so it was natural. It was grown naturally. You didn't plant it.
Well, they were farmers, so I guess they were making corn and they just had a lot of it. But there was an excess amount of corn. Yeah. And we're like, what should we do with this? And that was the trigger for the
that's a good
invention of bourbon.
And I was thinking, I know the name bourbon has ties to the French house of bourbon.
It does.
It used the whole lineage of Case.
Do you know? I've got some notes on this. So there's a little bit of hearsay rumor that the word bourbon comes from Bourbon County in Kentucky.
I've read that.
Or Bourbon Street in
Louisiana, in
New Orleans. But all of them, you're right, come from the House of Bourbon, which was a European royal house of French origin.
They had Case not just in France, in Spain as well. It's a very, very big, notorious family. So.
And
kingmakers.
Does you speak French? Does bourbon mean something in French?
No.
No, I
don't think so. But I don't see the tie. Why decide to call this beverage you decided to make because you had too much corn and didn't know what to do with it? Why then think, let's call it bourbon?
Yeah, maybe
I tried to read about it. I think I might have read about it and it didn't make sense, or there was multiple theories, or they're all theories, nobody knows.
Maybe it was Bourbon County where they started it, or I can't imagine it was Bourbon Street because it's like that's not really
Bourbon County. That's what you said in Kentucky, right?
Yeah,
that makes more sense because
95%
of all bourbon is made in Kentucky.
It is. So with that, do you know what the 7 rules of bourbon are?
So funny you should say that. Because I did my research.
Read the same way.
Well, I came up with 7 initially, and then I did some more research. And the additional research, which looked very serious, mentioned the 5.
I saw 5. So, I think they split some.
Yeah, because the 5 are within the 7. So part of the 7.
So what's the first one you've got?
So the first one is it has to be made in the USA.
It does. It has to be made. And these are rules. It's actually regulated.
It's a law.
It's a law. Yeah. It's not like a little thing. So it's like Scotch has to be at least 3 years and 1 day and made in Scotland. Mm-hmm. Bourbon has to be produced in the US.
Yes. Now, there's only one.
And interesting, not just Kentucky. I thought it was something.
It can be anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere in the US.
I thought so too. But
also not mainland, Hawaii, Alaska.
But there's a specific kind that's Kentucky bourbon or Kentucky something. And to have that appellation, you have to be from Kentucky, obviously.
Yeah.
So that it's nothing to do with bourbon in general.
Yeah. So the first one is made in the US.
Yes. The second one
rule.
It has to be at least 51% corn.
Yeah, and that is called the mash bill.
The mash bill, which is what grains the
grain mix, recipe, right? And hence the reason they had a lot of corn.
Yes.
And they used corn instead of malt or rye or whatever.
And then the rest, 51% corn at least. The other ingredients in the mash bill can be, or will likely be rye or wheat, I think. One or the other are the dominant one.
And that's how you get different kinds of bourbon, basically. The other 49% is
But it can be 51%, or it should be at least 51%. Say 60%. Say 60% corn. Can the rest be mixed, or does the rest have to be one?
I think
20% rye and 20% wheat.
As you say, it can be 49% mixed up and divided how you want, or it can be 80% corn and then 20% mixed up. So they have a lot of flexibility.
But 95% comes from. We're going to go back to the 7 or 5 rules. But 95% of all bourbon comes from Kentucky. Why? I think the climate plays a big role, because Kentucky has very warm, very hot summers and very cold winters, and so the barrels expand and contract with the seasons, and that contributes to what makes bourbon.
So it's kind of like when you have Scotch maturing in like a bonded warehouse next to the ocean, and you get that salt hitting the barrel. So it's a similar kind of thing. That's hot and cold season. I don't know what this does to the liquid inside, but for sure it's something. Okay, third rule.
It cannot be distilled above 180 proof.
160 proof, which is 80% ABV.
160 proof. Okay.
Yeah, which is 80% ABV.
Yes, 80% ABV. Yeah. Whereas, so if we wanted to compare with single malt Scotch, for example, I don't know. Typically, they go above 80%, and in Kentucky, they have to make a huge effort to limit it and stop it at 80%. Or is that where naturally it's going to arrive?
Well, I mean, I think the fact that it says maximum means that they have to limit it. How much effort they have to put into limiting at that level, I don't know. But this is one of the rules that is split into two. So you said 5.
Yes, there's another one with also bottled or put in the cask at.
So as we talked about the fermentation and distillation process before, previous episodes, I'm sure all 5 of you have watched. How you distill it will lessen the strength as it goes into the barrel for maturation. Into barrel.
125 proof, isn't that?
Exactly, which is 62.5% ABV.
Hey, are you impressed that I got like 3.5? Correct?
Yeah, because I'm checking notes and you're not. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already. No, 4.
4, yeah. This one is important.
There's one that's missing. I think I know which one this is.
Is that it has to be, you have to use a new charred barrel. In both words, oak barrels, and both words are important. And charred. They're going to contribute to an oak. American oak, I suppose.
Yeah, because as we learned in cask types, episode 3 or 2, maybe, I can't remember.
One of the early ones.
Yeah. With Scotch maturation or whiskey maturation in general, you typically have ex-bourbon barrels.
Yeah.
But you can have American oak, European oak, sherry. No. With bourbon, no, new.
Has to be
oak
and charred.
And
not toasted, charred.
Yeah, I don't know the difference of charred.
I think one is just more intense than the other. That's my interpretation. But why? And what does that do? What does that do to the liquid?
We also did an episode on peated whiskies, and we understood how the flavor from the peat goes into the fermentation and distillation.
Yes.
You've got to think that charring a barrel and putting liquid in it is going to give it some kind of smoky flavor, isn't it?
I remember because I reread that recently. So charring the interior of the cask is going to caramelize the wood sugars.
Wow. Okay.
Caramelize means you're going to have some of that caramelized flavor profile into your finished product in the end. And also because it's American oak, I think for the most part, or even exclusively. I mean,
I'm sure
it's known for also having some vanilla is a very common flavor profile.
I understand that if there's sugars in the wood and you basically cook it, it's going to caramelize, and that's going to give sweetness to the liquid. And I know that there's vanilla in bourbon, but I don't understand where vanilla comes from in the chemistry of what you just said.
I don't know. It's in the wood. Or some molecules in the wood will
like vanilla is
but it's the same thing as when you taste a whiskey and you have notes of, sometimes you taste oranges. Nobody has put orange peel in.
Yeah.
But it's the molecules I remember because I was a friend of mine was talking to me about it. I think it's the shape of the molecules.
Okay, so the structure.
When they go through on the nose, I'm talking about the nose. When they go through your nose, depending on their shape, it's going to be interpreted and give you a memory or an impression of a scent. So if the molecule is shaped, whatever comes out of the wood during the chemical reaction between the liquid and the wood of gas, if it's shaped, I might be completely off, but I think that's what he told me. If they're shaped like a molecule of something, you're gonna get.
Oh, it makes sense.
That's the same nose, the same smell.
And like with any food or drink, even on the palate, when you drink or eat it, most of the flavor you taste in your mouth is still coming from the nose. It's still the aroma. So it makes sense, actually.
And so that's where the new part, and also because the wood is new, it's new. So this flavor profile, the vanilla profile would be even stronger, and it's going to impart more of that because it's new. Whereas for a Scotch, a single malt, you don't want something as strong because also the climate is going to be different, and you want to let it mature for longer. So you're going to use reused, usually refill casks a lot of times.
Because you get X bourbon casks and then first fill of the X cask, and then you can get even refill of the X cask. So it's like a third or fourth.
Yeah.
Okay. What did we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 and 7. Any idea?
Huh?
Any idea what?
Yeah, I just read.
Okay.
I just read about them. I'm one of them. No additives. Is that what you call it? Yeah.
So that's interesting when it comes to whiskey, because you always kind of look out for, non-chill filter,
no caramel color,
no added color. So you're not allowed by regulation, by law. You can't add colors, flavors, other kind of spirits, additives, nothing.
Yeah.
Just the core ingredients.
Yep. Which is a very good rule. I mean, why don't all spirits have that rule? Maybe I don't know.
And the last rule of bourbon. So we had the distillation maximum strength. We had enter in the barrel,
so
maximum strength.
Bottling strength. At least 80 proof, which is 40% ABV.
Which is 40%, which is standard fare for whiskey. I mean, anything, well, it can't be whiskey if it's less than 20.
Right. So same rule.
Yeah.
It can't be whiskey, you said, because bourbon is whiskey.
Yeah, all bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon.
That's a famous sentence, yeah.
I didn't have it written down at all.
And I saw a video, and I wish I had saved it. Someone was going off on the Don McLean song, American Pie, bye, Miss American Pie.
Yeah.
And talks about good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, and how that was wrong. You can't say whiskey and rye because rye is...
Yeah, you got rye whiskey.
All rye is whiskey, but whiskey is not.
Yeah.
All whiskey is not.
Yeah, I know. It's and I never understood when people refer to just rye, because there's an old movie, Harvey, with James Stewart, and he sees the 6-foot white rabbit, and no one else sees it. It's hilarious. I mean, old style hilarious, but hilarious. And he talks about, he's basically a drunk, but he's really polite and gentlemanly about it and kind of harmless. And he talks with his friend who is mixing his something and rye. And I was like, what is rye? But yeah, it's just whiskey.
Maybe we should do an episode on rye, because we're going to do bourbon.
We touched on rye with the Arbiki news.
Yes.
That is rye whiskey. And the fact that you can pay $3.2 million and have all the bottles. Cool. But back to bourbon. So what's the taste like generally?
So because of everything we've said, generally it's going to be very sweet compared to what we've been talking about, single malts. Bourbon's going to be a lot sweeter, very spicier as well. Which is the rye component. If it has a lot of rye, it's going to increase the spiciness.
It's particular spices, isn't it? It's like baking spices, I heard.
Yeah, we will need to find out. I hope we have a bourbon for tasting today. But it's going to be also more full body, I think, because of the maturation length and the type of climate and the fact that the oak is new.
Yeah.
And all these things. So you're going to have something more full body. So sweet and full body, I think, are the two main characteristics of bourbon.
That's kind of what I have as well. I'm expecting sweetness.
And we talked about sweetness, so we were going to talk about vanilla, caramel, coconuts. What else did I note? Toasted oak, hints of honey. All these kind of
very sweet things. And interestingly, although produces 95% of the world's supply of bourbon, there are actually new distilleries popping up all over the US, kind of like whiskey. Now there's whiskey production and distilleries all over Europe, Australia, Asia, everywhere. Same is happening for bourbon in the US.
Well, there's one that everybody knows, one that doesn't want to call itself bourbon, even though it meets all the rules, but it adds something else. It's Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels goes by Tennessee whiskey, not bourbon.
Yeah, it's famously Tennessee, isn't it?
Yeah. But they do fit the 7 rules that we talked about, so they could call themselves.
Oh, they could. I see.
They are a bourbon, but they also add the Lincoln County process, which is charcoal filtering before aging. So they add this, and this distinguishes them from the rest of the bourbon. And they're like, well, we're not going to be like everybody else. We're going to be a Tennessee whiskey.
Something I don't know, I didn't read up on, but I should have, is the length of maturation.
Yeah, I think it's shorter, right? Compared to
typically it's shorter, but it's not a rule. So it's not like Scotch that has to be 3 years and a day.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I have it in my notes somewhere.
And there's not a typical kind of, like everyone's heard of a 12-year-old Scotch, for example, or 50, 8, generally goes in those threes. But I should have read up on that.
If aged less than 4 years, the age must be stated on the label.
You generally don't see the age. So that means it's at least 4 years.
And so because they use, again, we're going back to what you said already several times, because they use new charred barrels, it extracts flavors faster. And because of that, you're going to have already good bourbon after 4 to 8 years.
Okay. So, because it's the strength of flavors.
So what takes Scotch 10 to 18 years, for bourbon, you get the equivalent in terms of quality and maturity after 4 to 8 years.
Okay. Well, some bourbon in culture, in popular social culture. I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Do you know what a tater is?
A what?
A tater.
Tater.
And it's not potatoes.
Have you had
tater? Like hater, but tater.
I know tater tots.
I don't know what that is.
Which is potatoes.
Literally just said not potatoes.
No, I don't know what a tater is.
It's people who buy bourbon not to drink or to taste, just to keep it and resell it at a higher value.
Okay. Investors, right?
Yeah, but typically, short-term flippers, people who flip houses, that kind of thing. And not even as an investment, like as an heirloom or inheritance to someone, just purely to flip to get a profit.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, tater. Unicorn collectors.
Well, they collect only super rare bourbon.
Yeah, so if, for example, Buffalo Trace come out with a super, super special edition, it could be considered a unicorn. And you have people just waiting and also hunting them down for ones that have come out in the past.
Mm-hmm.
The secondary market.
Is there a question in there?
Yeah, what is it?
It's not the primary market.
This is true.
Everybody knows what a secondary market is, but what do we mean?
It's basically the resale market. And
it's the first people, the taters, that will resell, flip their original purchase.
But actually, the secondary market is much larger than these unicorn bottles or rare bottles. It's just, it is a significant part of bourbon sales is resale, reselling. Yeah, and that's 3 things in popular bourbon culture.
And so the bourbon, when people talk about bourbon, what do you know? Is Four Roses? Four Roses, yes, that's a bourbon. Maker's Mark is a famous one. One you will typically find at a bar. You go to a bar, you want to have a whiskey and coke, and typically they will have those bottles on the shelf. Right?
Yeah,
and then you have the more elaborate, more interesting.
It's like whiskey, like Scotch as well. You have like the famous brands like.
You have the blends, like Johnny Walkers.
But you can have like a Glenfiddich that you see in every bar, a 12-year-old Glenfiddich, and it tastes like okay. But then Glenfiddich also do a 21-year-old or an 18-year-old, and it's another level. And bourbon is exactly the same.
Yeah, and there's one collection, one series by there's Blanton's that we tried at our favorite whiskey shop in Madrid.
We did, and you tell the story.
Well, I will need your help because you might remember better than me. But so it's very much very sought after. You can collect. I think there's different editions. Are they editions? See, I'll need your help because you have the cork. There's a little figurine on top.
There's like a man on a racing horse on top of the bottle
in different positions. There's 6 or 7 different.
No, there's a little letter.
The letter
at the base,
and it spells Blanton's.
And it spells Blanton's. Yeah. So randomly in one shop you will find the B,
right,
and another one you'll find the T. And apparently some of them are really difficult in the US to find because our favorite whiskey shop gets calls to ask, what letter do you have on your Blanton's? Which is insane. But it is really nice. I don't remember much about it because we had a few that night, and I don't remember exactly the flavor profile, but I have since checked, and it's not cheap. No, it's not cheap. It's not cheap if you just want to go buy it and try it at home. But the quality, from what I remember, matches the price. I mean, the price it's worth at least an elevated price. I don't know if it's worth the price that it's being sold at, but it's worth more than. We don't know enough about bourbon to justify it, but I remember there was a Scotch that night that had a lot of hype, and the bourbon definitely tasted better. Yeah, I remember too. Yeah, we won't say the name of the Scotch because we're not these people. No, and I actually can't remember the name. Singed into the back of my brain. Okay, distillery tourism. Ooh, yeah. Do you know there's something called the Kentucky Bourbon Trail? I heard of it, yes. I read those 3 words and immediately thought, I want to do it. Just the word trail. So it's like bar hopping, distillery hopping, right? Basically, yeah. So the famous ones are Buffalo Trace and Maker's Mark. But there's a whole host of them because, again, 5% of the world's production of bourbon. It just sounds so cool. Like on a trail, like frontiersman. Maybe not on a horse. You try it. But apparently it's a huge tourism economy. So like the in northern Spain, you can go walk the Santiago, which is attracting a lot of pilgrims or tourists. Same. Or like when you go to Scotland to play golf or to go whiskey distillery tours, those kind of things, there's no set trail. Yeah, you can do whatever you want, whichever flavor, whichever cool. This apparently is actually a set out route. Do you know how long it takes to go from one end to the other? Days. I mean, the US is huge, but apparently it's a huge thing. And the more I read about it, the more I was like, okay, I've got to do that. I have to get a hat. Another topic on bourbon, and we touched on this with the blends, cocktails. Yeah. And cocktail renaissance. Cocktails, okay, you asked me a cocktail renaissance. Basically, bars now are this whole it's an art now, to be a bartender and to mix and make cocktails. And bourbon is becoming like a key part of that, along with blended whiskeys. Have you seen the videos of the Japanese bar? Have you seen that? If I do this, the barman, Japanese bar, super famous, makes cocktails, but he does everything. Well, and then he cuts the ice cubes, twist makes a glass spin, and super. Right. Well, now I'm gonna have to find a clip. Yeah, I was thinking if they do the same, but for me, cocktail renaissance is barmen who can put on a show like this. Well, I think it's also like bringing back some of the old cocktails. So like the old fashioned, which famously Scottish cocktail. But it's having a boom in the US. Bourbon goes into some of those cocktails. What famous cocktails include bourbon? I got 3. I got 3 ones. Old fashioned. So old fashioned has. But the point is, you can put bourbon instead of Scotch or blend or whatever. This is the point. Because of its sweetness, we talked about blends and how they mix well as a cocktail because they don't have that complexity. They have that smoothness. Mm-hmm. Same thing with bourbon and the sweetness. So old fashioned is coming back strong. Manhattan also, kind of from the kind of New York elite clubs, is coming more popular in just everyday drinking. And there's one which is called, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, mint julep. Oh yeah, is that what they drink at the Kentucky Race of the Horse? Why do you know that? It's the official drink of the
I didn't know
Kentucky
it had
Derby.
whiskey in it, but it would make sense.
Yeah, but that was my big finish that you spotted. The official drink of the Kentucky Derby. I don't know what the Kentucky Derby is.
It's a horse race.
Ah, okay.
There's a trifecta. There's this. That's one of the most famous. It's in May.
Okay. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so one episode, we should do cocktails.
Yeah.
Whiskey-based cocktails.
Yeah. We can invent our own.
Why not? Yeah. If there's whiskey in it and it's good whiskey, it's going to taste good. It's like Joey on Friends. Do you remember that? Like someone, like Rachel, like mixed up a recipe book and she was making a trifle and Joey was like, yogurt, grapes, good meat. Well, that's all I have to say about bourbon. But definitely, I think we're not, well, I am not anyway, kind of able to speak on it much, but there's definitely a huge cultural thing about bourbon.
We're behind. Like we haven't given it so much attention, and I haven't. I've been focusing on my single malts, and I've just forgotten.
We did the same with blends.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, when you go to the US, I mean, again, you would know more. Bourbon is a huge part of the culture, of the bar culture, whiskey culture, and in Europe, the kind of idea I have of bourbon is someone dressed as a cowboy on a horse. Like, I know it sounds stupid, but that kind of Americana, that kind of, pioneer, frontiersman, I mean, it definitely has that vibe about it.
But it's not all so far-fetched because we talk about Kentucky and usually the states that will make bourbon that will have the kind of hot in the summer, cold in the winter kind of climate, like Tennessee, Kentucky, Colorado, I know, has
Louisiana.
So these are more cowboy country. It's not New York or Los Angeles or Chicago or these kind of places.
Because they mentioned, we talked about New Orleans, and like that's very busy, touristic. There's a French Quarter. It doesn't speak cowboy.
No, this one.
But again, Cajun. Bourbon is really Yeah. So I think there's a lot to explore.
It's not. It's the more. I don't want to offend anyone. I'm not going to say anything because it can be.
Yeah, because we don't know.
But it's it's those central states. It's not the same as the coastal ones. And you take a trip to the U.S., you probably will go to New York or you'll go to Chicago or go to Miami. And none of those places are bourbon distilling.
Yeah, not historical states.
So.
But I think there is a lot to go into, and maybe on future episodes we can go deeper into like the frontiers history.
We got to do that. We got to do the trail.
Yeah, but then also the New Orleans kind of side of it, and the touristic, the bar hopping, the French Quarter side to it.
Yeah,
and just that whole, because people based in Europe, we do have this idea of Americana, and a lot of it is California sunshine and Disney in Florida. And New York businessmen.
Yes. Yeah.
And then cowboys.
Yeah.
Because that,
Yeah. It's part of what we were.
Yeah, it's part of what we grew up in. Yeah. So I think we should probably go into it a bit more.
But not in Alaska and not in Hawaii. I don't think you'll find any distilleries there because the climate is just too hostile to making bourbon. It's great for vacationing. But
Alaska, maybe?
I don't think it gets hot enough any time of the year.
Yeah. That'd be interesting. Okay. So, tasting.
Well, let's do news first.
Tasting. Oh, news. Yeah.
So that's my turn.
The news.
Give
us some news.
The news for this week. So I just, as usual, come across things. It's a new series, a new limited edition, special edition series from Diageo. I don't know what I'm talking about.
But series is in like TV
like
series?
a new series of bottlings.
Okay.
Special bottlings called, they come up with many over the years and some have been super famous. Where's my news section? There it is. So it's called the Diageo Rare Series. So it's a special release from Diageo. They own some 30 distilleries across Scotland, and have some 10 million casks, that they own. And so they can do things with their cask. And what they do is exactly that. So they come up with every other year, or I don't think there's a regular schedule, but they often come up with, okay, we're going to make a special series, explore the casks we have, find some interesting ones, and super old ones. This series is about rare series. So they found some rare casks. I'll tell you what they are. There's 5 bottlings. So the first one of single malt is a Blair Athol or Blair Athol. 1991, 34-year-old, 347 bottles.
It was bottled in 1991.
Yeah.
At 34 years maturation.
Yes.
That's a weird number, 34. Like, why not 35? Why not wait a year?
Wait, it was bottled in 1991, or was it? Yes, it must have been bottled. Well, usually you give a year. That's the year.
But still, 34 is a weird maturation.
But no, it wasn't bottled. It was distilled in 1991. And then bottled recently because they came up.
Okay, but
they haven't. Anyway,
you'd think they'd wait another year and do 35.
They decided. I mean, they have their experts and they taste and they're like, oh, this would be a great one to bottle right now.
More experts than me.
But so only 347 bottles produced.
Okay.
And $900 US dollars a bottle. First, and that's the cheapest one in this industry. They have the Tasca 1992, 33 years old, 331 bottles produced, $1,300 a pop. Then you have Kalila,
okay,
1983, 42 years old of age, and 18 bottles produced, $3,000 per bottle.
I know someone who likes Kalila. I'm not sure he's going to spend $3,000.
That was number 3. Number 4 in that series is the Kleinlich, 1983, also 42-year-old. So both the Kalila and the Kleinlich, 1983, 42 years old.
I've never tried Kleinlich. Never ever tried it.
Just wait, baby. It's not today's, but it will. This one only 160 bottles produced. That helps drive the price up, $4,000 a bottle. And the last one I've never heard of, Glenury Royal, 1970. Glenury, Glenury, Glenury Royal, 1970, 55 years old, 132 bottles, $6,350, and ABV at 62.4%. And I was amazed because you have a 55-year-old single malt and it's still 62.4%.
But it's
ABV.
Because I see what you mean with the initial share.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing that after 55 years, they still have that much. Anyway, that's the top end. I think it's a that's being modeled or.
So most of them were 300 bottles. Some of them were 100.
Yeah, the Kleinlich is 160.
So it was basically like one cask.
Yeah.
So of those 5, that was 5 casks.
Yeah.
So
whoever owned that cask.
No, but the point is to do this rare series. They just took 5 casks and they had 10 million.
Yeah.
So they've got a couple more series lined up, is what we're saying.
Yes. And they've had some about 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. There's I have an excellent task from one of their special series. Yeah.
Is that the one your dad gave you?
No, it's another one. I bought it here. Recently, like 4 or 5 years ago.
I can't remember if I tried Talca.
I want to bring it one day for tasting. But that was my news. On to the tasting for today.
The tasting, well, it is Bourbon Week. So I went to our favorite whiskey shop, La Pasola. Thank you very much. And I saw a lot of bourbon and I asked them.
Because you didn't know what
no, I
don't know anything. So you asked it because they're very knowledgeable there.
Yeah, and they were really good. They said, okay, this one is more rye, this one is more wheat, this one is whatever. And I said, okay, but it's for our first bourbon episode. And he said, okay, if you're doing an introduction, then you want something in the middle. You don't want something exotic that's more like aged in a specific weird and wonderful way because it's not an introduction. So one that ticks all the boxes.
Or something with a mash bill that is like average, like something with plenty of rye.
Very, very, very good quality distillation company. And is it from a distillery that we mentioned earlier?
Buffalo Trace.
It is the Eagle Rare, aged 10 years.
That's a Kentucky
straight bourbon whiskey. I mean, I have to say, you've got the bald-headed eagle here. It's called Eagle Rare. But the font, the presentation, there's no label. It's just kind of engraved on the glass. Yeah. It is beautiful. And then you've got a label at the back with some beautiful autograph font and commentary. But let's get in.
I'm expecting something overly sweet.
I think the more perhaps low-end bourbon is going to be sweeter and sweeter and sweeter, and then the higher end bourbon is going to have a little bit more complexity. That's what I would understand.
Beautiful color, like a sherry cask featured single malt, maybe.
I mean, that's definitely kind of there's a deep golden hue. Can I see that? So, yeah, it's definitely not light. It's a beautiful color. It's an elegant color.
Yeah.
Now, let's try.
Whoa.
Sweetness.
Beautiful nose. Yes.
Sweetness.
Very present. Like it's there. It's announcing itself.
That is, I'm getting vanilla. Definitely.
Yes. Vanilla, caramel, and maybe brown sugar. I don't know. These kinds
It's hot as well.
But meaning spicy, or you mean alcohol? What's the ABV? Did you say?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it says here 45%.
45% ABV. Let's try it.
Oh yeah, it is.
That is not as sweet on the palate as it is on the nose, and it caught me by surprise because there is a smoky kick, which I like. I wasn't expecting.
So the alcohol is very present. It burns you. I don't know if people typically add water to bourbon. I mean, it's only 45%, but for 45%, it's strong. It's very
on the finish. You get a lot of vanilla, caramel, vanilla.
It's the same. You get the same as on the finish as what you get in the
nose. On the palate initially,
the palate is different.
Very different.
But because it's burning, I think it's just masking.
But I don't think it's burning like in a bad way. It was like a smoky kick. Bang! Welcome to the USA. Is that what cowboys say? Probably not. Yeah, definitely heat. Oh yeah,
But to me, it's rougher. Like it's. I don't mean rough. Like in like it's not well made.
No, it's not a bad.
It made something, but it's a rougher.
It's like you get this heat, and then it kind of settles for a bit, and then it comes back up and gives you a slap.
Yeah.
But it's a good slap. It's
it's like more of a winter drink, right?
You get this
hot summer night. That's not what I would go for.
For me, it's a smoky hit, hot smoky hit that you don't expect, but is really good. And then the finish, long caramel, vanilla. That's where the smoothness is.
Mm-hmm.
But I would never think it tastes like that after the nose.
I wonder what of that is due to the fact that it's majority corn.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think we're trained enough to.
No, we're not. There's a lot of texture, which I like in general.
There's a little bit of bitterness as well.
I mean,
it's not unpleasant.
It's all about freedom, life, liberty, happiness. Yeah, 1700s, again, 18th century, protected by law, by practice.
So pretty much our podcast on the back of the bottle.
Yeah. Don't read this. It doesn't really say. It says it has a sweet, oaky nose, full, complex body, reminiscent of a fine port wine.
There's something coming back in the end, like bitterness or I don't know, like something similar to something to wood tannins. I don't know what it is, but there's something.
I don't get that at the end. I get that like in the middle, and at the end I get vanilla and caramel, kind of like settles out
on the sides. But again, not necessarily a bad thing, but it's
not a
very different to what we've been drinking that comes from Scotland.
Heat, bang, slap, smooth. I do like that bourbon. And yeah, at the end, you definitely get the sweetness.
Yeah.
Kind of lingers on the tongue.
Good choice.
Yeah.
I
think, we talked a few times about recently, not on the podcast maybe, but like we tried a whiskey recently and I was like, this is a summer's evening whiskey.
Yeah. I remember you saying that.
It's almost summer. I'm going to pick it up. I'm trying to think when you would choose this. So like some really complex single malts, or like for evenings of sitting down and contemplating life.
Après ski.
What?
Après ski. You go skiing, you come back eventually, you kick back and you drink this. In front of a fire because it's cold outside, snowing if you're lucky, and you drink this. This is an après ski.
Okay, so for those of us who don't ski on the opportunity, maybe more like when we get back from the hunt.
Yes.
Would that also be like working man's
Yes.
Or coming back from a hard day's labor.
Yes, but if only if you've been hunting wild boar or something. We're not talking about.
Or like manual work, any long, hard days.
Yes.
Not skiing.
You're going to enjoy that.
But no. Very good. I definitely see the appeal to that bourbon.
Yeah, now I want to try more. I want to compare. I want to go to Tennessee. I want to travel to Colorado and try theirs and compare different.
You definitely, if you go to one of those places, you definitely have to bring one back. Yeah. Next episode, what are we going to talk about?
Next episode, we're going to talk about, we talked about distillery equipment.
Kind of in the fermentation and distillation episode.
Yes. And I think I took it a little bit differently. I'm focusing on one type of equipment, which is central to whiskey making, especially in Scotland or Ireland. So I'll reveal all on the next episode.
As always, if you've got questions, comments, let us know. Don't hesitate.
Subscribe to the podcast.
Subscribe. Click the like, heart, thumb up, star, L.
You've said it all. People know by now.
Yeah, I'm not good with social media. I don't know what other things they have. Yeah, like, subscribe, and we'll say something else. Bell.
Hit the bell button, comments. We said it all. The important stuff.
So all that's left to say is
goodbye.
Goodbye.